Alright, let me see. What's my next one going to be? So my next one is going to be Lisa Frankenstein, and this was actually the mystery movie. I think it's probably going to be. Wasn't this Monday that passed? So 2 Mondays ago, this was a mystery movie at Regal from their mystery movie program, and it's about a misunderstood teenager and a reanimated Victorian corpse. They embark on a murderous journey together to find love, happiness, and a few missing body parts. It's directed by Zelda Williams and starring Catherine Newton as Lisa. We got Lisa Soberano, who plays Taffy, her sister. Cole Sprouse, who plays the Frankenstein, the Victorian Frankenstein character. I believe, let me make sure that's, yeah. It just looks different on here. Yep, that's him. And we also get Carla Gugino, who plays the mom of both of these sisters here. And there's some other characters. And this is mostly, it feels like this is a high school kind of comedy, romantic comedy, with some horror elements sprinkled in. And I had a good time with it, man. It takes place, it feels like, in the 80s, early 80s, mid 80s. It has that kind of aesthetic and look and feel to it. Okay. And really definitely feels like something that could have happened in the Edward Scissorhands world, That's the impression that I'm getting from it. Like, just the quirkiness of it, the humor of it, and the look of it, There's definitely some heavy Tim Burton influence, man. So it is kind of a interesting Frankenstein kind of style story. Whereas Lisa just is infatuated with this cemetery. She keeps going all the time just to hang out and read books. And there's a particular grave site that she's infatuated with. It has a statue of the person that's buried there. And she kind of imagines, him. And for some reason, it don't really explain why, but there's a storm that comes in, lightning hits this thing and reanimates the corpse, you know what I'm saying, that's under this grave, and happens to be this Victorian guy. And so basically, essentially, he's her Frankenstein monster. And it's interesting in a way that it follows Frankenstein because he reanimates with parts missing. And then the Frankenstein stuff happens where it's not really a monster, but it's doing monstrous things because it just doesn't know any better. Okay. It kind of has that kind of a mice and men kind of aspect of it, but it's humorous. So, but then there are some really vile people in this film. Some of the other characters that, get into some situations with Lisa. And so her, Frankenstein, so to speak, starts acting out in certain ways, man. Like, say our Frankenstein is missing a hand, and at one point someone gets taken out, and now all of a sudden our Frankenstein has a new hand that Lisa attaches to him. So that kind of stuff is going on. And as he gets these pieces that he's missing, he becomes more complete. And but then things come to a head because people, are starting to turn up missing, and there's murder and mayhem. And overall, I had a good time with this thing, man. It's fun. It has enough humor. I wasn't falling out of my chair, but for the most part, it's one of those films where I'm watching and I have an amusement over my face pretty much the whole time, because there is some really fun stuff going on in here. I think some cool stuff, especially with the family dynamics. With Carla, because Lisa is pretty much adopted by this family. Like, something had happened to her mom, when she was younger, and she ends up with this family. And the dad is pretty cool with her, but the mom is kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Why can't you be like your sister? You know what I'm saying? Even though, she's part of the family, but at the same time, she's, the mom doesn't mess with her. Plus, she's also the other daughter is, like cheerleader squad. You know what I'm saying? Has everything. Okay. She's on point. Popular. At least is definitely like the outcast in so many ways in the school, and you know what I'm saying, and with the family. But it's a good time. I forgot. Joe Crest actually plays the dad, Dale, and he's really good in this too, man. I had a good time.
Okay.
He's good.
Yeah, I saw when Diablo Cody wrote this. Is it up to her humor?
Who was it?
Diablo Cody directed this. Not directed, wrote it.
I'm trying to think, what else has she done?
She did Juno. She did Jennifer's Body. I think she did
There's a little bit of a feel to Jennifer's body. I think Jennifer's body is a little bit slicker than most of the stuff, you know what I'm saying, from this era. Like I said, this feels more like what was going on in Edward Scissorhands with Edward and the daughter of that family.
Okay, Winona Ryder.
I forgot her name. Who played
that Winona Ryder?
Yeah, Winona Ryder. Like it felt like their stuff that was going on. Like when she went to school, this was what Lisa Frankenstein would be. You know, when she went to class and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, it definitely has that 80s comedy nostalgia vibe to it. But it's also a little bit self-aware, so it's kind of campy, and they're having fun with the material. But yeah, I had a good time with it, man. I was surprised, how much I liked it. There was maybe a couple people that walked out. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
But you never know, man. I feel like when that happens, I don't usually think the movie is bad. I just feel like the people that came to the movie just didn't expect to see this, or maybe they're just not fans in general of a film like this, So, and that's the thing about the mystery movie, man. I haven't walked out personally, but you never know what you're going to get, man. And maybe there's been like a small couple of times where I totally hated the movie that I saw, but this wasn't one of them.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of waiting on that. I won't be able to see this one until Monday. We're seeing this and One Love together.
And does Zelda Williams have any other films she's directed?
I think this might be her first film. She might have directed some television. She is Robin Williams' daughter.
Yeah, so there's a credit here for The Girl in the Box. Oh, boom. All right. Some of these other things could just be appearances versus her directing it, because I think she does do some acting.
Yeah. Like I said, she is Robin Williams' daughter, and she's named after the video game Zelda.
Okay. I think this is her only this is only directing credit. Yes. Yeah, but I had a good time, man. Like I said, if you like that kind of, it's kind of the vibe of what's that? What's the film with Phoebe Cates and the Drop Dead Fred kind of vibe, man?
Okay.
It feels like something like that,
Oh,